All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, hopefully the Most High your house shall bless your day. By His mercies you are consumed. We're alive in the Most High your house shall body, and two, we're naturally alive, man. So, yeah, I just want to come back, man, with something real quick, man, because honestly, man, too, man, even things like kind of going to what we went over this morning, man. And actually, I actually talking to a brother right now, man, of you know like, cause he's going through some things, man. Not to put him out there, but he said, man, why is this like happening to us? Like, cause we just going into what we're going through right now. I'm like, well, I was like, well, listen, brother, what you going through right now, what you're going through right now, with other brothers and sisters, even in the word, or hell, even even outside the word, is going through way worse than me, man. So, like, and I had to be reminded that by a friend yesterday, man. So I had to watch that, man. Honestly, why I complain, man, because I'm like, yo, brother, what you going through right now is even 10 times worse than what I'm going through like right now. But I told him, listen, it's for our betterment, man, because these trials and tribulations, like it's for our betterment, man. That's what that's where like it says Acts 14:22, the kingdom comes through much tribulation. And of course, like not only physical kingdom but the inward kingdom as well, man. Like reaching level of spiritual maturity, a high level version of yourself, man. Like making you spiritually and mentally stronger, man. So and like Sarai 2 says, man, take what's upon you, cheerfully, man. It's just like, because I just got some more bad news today, even worse. So it's not really, but listen, I had to think about this. I have to renew my mind and just say, listen, do I still have the Most High in your house shot? Then hey, like the Avengers, man. Like y'all seen the versus Avengers movie that came out 2012. I said 2012, man. Like the first Avengers movies, when Loki said to the Avengers, man, he said, we have a Hulk. We have an army, and and they said, we have a Hulk, man. That's how you gotta look at the Most High in your house, man. Listen, the world, y'all have the riches, y'all have everything, y'all have your desires, y'all have your will, but but you on the other hand, we have the Most High in your house, man. So that's all we need, cause they're our life, man. So just like that, because don't get it like that. That's why the word says don't envy a sinner, and there's much sinners that have success in every different things. And don't get it twisted, man. Just because some good things are going well with people, that's especially in the word, that doesn't mean like the Most High house ain't deal with you. No, that could be the case depending on like you're not putting them first and how you're living. But a lot of times too, if you even in the high position, or if you have money, nice house, good things, that doesn't mean like the Most High house is not like dealing with you, because bro, there's a lot of men, like a lot of people in this word that the Most High house shot, they got genealogies in heaven. These were like were beloved by the Most High house shot, but but they were wealthy, like Abraham, of course, even Isaac, even Jacob, Joseph, David, Solomon. It's the richest man ever walked. Nicodemus. It's a bunch of people that had that had money and prosper, had high positions, or like money, doing well, and the Most High house I still dealt with them as well. And also too, man, just because it's like you don't have those things, you're poor, doesn't mean the Most High house is not like dealing with you as well, man. That doesn't mean that as well, because because there's plenty of word that goes into that. Yahushua is an example of that himself, because he became poor so we can be rich, man. So physically poor so we could be rich. And also too, we're poor and poor, but but you're rich in faith, man. But also too, there's another thing too, a dynamic as well. Just because a lot of times too, just because you're poor doesn't mean you're this small case, because there's a lot of wicked poor people and wicked homeless people as well, wicked homeless people as well, quiet as kept, but you still have mercy and compassion on them for the Most High your house, I say, because the word just does that, and you understand, because even the Sarah said goes into it's still in the poor man's distress, man. But because didn't the Most High say in your house, I say in Sarah 25, he said, listen, he despises the poor, proud man. So yeah, don't get that twisted. That's a lot of misconception. Just because because again we tend to have still have that compassion, be compassionate to people that those are without, man. But a lot of times too, man, you gotta realize some people are like, there's poor, like homeless and wicked people out there as well, man. They were probably the reason that they were like that, because it was judgment from the Most High. And also too, life happens, and it's like they were like that before that, and now even after that, it's just more. That's neither here nor there. But as I'm going to the renewing of the mind, man, because Yeah, because no, we was talking about David the other day, and we got some other stuff coming up on David, man. Because like because this all being one with the Most High Yahushua, man. Because this shit, like honestly, man, like like Yahushua said, his words are spirit, man. Like but it's just crazy, like he comes in the volume of the book, man. Because let's go to First Samuel, chapter 13, real quick, man. Because being one, because we were talking about being one with him, man. Because that's all we was going into, like listen, being one with the Most High in Yahushua, man, having them. Like that's all you need. So when you're one with them, that's good, man. That's what we should strive for, man. Like that they Zebulon and you dwell within us, man. That's what First John goes into the spirit. Like really, man. Like their attributes, the spirit, just having them dwell within you, being one. But I want to go into this, man, because 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 let's look at this dichotomy real quick. This is how we know that gets this so important. Or the gospel of testimony, the new covenant, man, the witness, of Yahushua, so important because you could tell, like when Yahushua said in John 10, me and the Father are one. Of course they wanted to stone him as well, and that's actually, actually I might get that as well. You know what? I might touch on that as well. Since that was gonna be another video for another day, but we're gonna kind of touch on that since we're here. But hold on, y'all. My bad. Let me get this real quick. Hold on. Yeah. So yeah, man. We're gonna So yeah, man. That's just is what it is, man. You gonna look at this because he said what he said in John 10 that we are one. But this is why the testimony, the gospel, the new covenant, the witness is so important to Yahushua. Because listen, because Yahushua, like we went into the other day about David, but because we were talking about matters of war with David and how Yahushua being the son of David, how people forget, because a lot of times people forget that Yahushua's the son of David, so he's coming back as he's coming back as David would come back, and making and making war against all these other nations and taking crowns. Just like when David took the crown from that king of, it was either the king of Moab or the king of Ammon. He put it on his head. That's what Yahushua's doing. He's taking crowns, like it says in pursuant to Revelation 19. Also, too, man, just like during David's time, he had Edom and Gershons, they war with Edom a lot. Yahushua's making it. Well, he's coming to all the other nations as well. Of course, even our people as well. He's coming back for everybody, the one circumcised and uncircumcised, the believers and the unbelievers, the righteous and the wicked. But it's like how just like David had Edom under a heavy yoke during his rulership. That's what 2 6 and 9. That's what Obadiah and Jeremiah. That's what Yahushua is coming to do for Edom. And of course the beast is going to come out of Edom. But that's another story for another day. But yeah. That's is what it is with that too. But also too, I want to get into this how David was one with Yahushua. I mean, with the Most High Yahushua. So the son of David is going to be one with the Most High, man. They were both one. And that concept, and also too, I get it because listen, during our time, our people, we were still just like we are now. We didn't know the Most High Yahushua, man. And they were more at advantage too, because we always say, because that's why they call it the spirit so fast, because they know the laws and stuff like that. They already knew already. They grew up on it. That's why Peter said, listen, I never, in accent, I never ate this unclean thing. I never ate that. I've been doing this. They knew the whole custom. They knew the laws, the customs, and all that stuff, man. But, we were kind of at more of a, we're kind of at advantage and a disadvantage. Because one, we're the generation, even during that time, Yahushua's time, generation of the gospel, This our ancestors was during the time of Acts and after the gospel. I mean, after Yahushua went on scene and the apostles did their thing. But also too, we were kind of bad because we didn't know the laws and things of that nature like that. Our generation, we didn't we didn't really know we were the descendants of the people of the book until Most High Yahushua kind of revealed that thing. But now we're just really And what comes that is like, okay, we know, like, the convention, but that's why a lot of times too, the Most High Yahushua brings people in the conventional way, but then that later leads into the gospel of the testimony, knowing Him. So, so that's where our ancestors, they had the advantage, and also we have the advantage. It's a just double edged sword. It's a balanced type of thing there, because they had an advantage because, like, they grew up on the laws and customs, and we kind of didn't. But also too, we just, like, we're the generation. Each generation, even since the beginning of the world, is a generation of faith, because it's impossible to please the Most High Yahushua without faith. But this generation specifically is very important, man, because that's what that Second Esdras 1:35 and 37 is about. They have seen no prophets or miracles. One, the word is a miracle, but they shall believe on me and, like, and worship me. So, but yeah, man, that's just is what it is. This is First Samuel chapter. But yeah, it's all gonna be on being with one accord to Most High Yahushua. Because let's grab this too. First Samuel chapter 13 verse 14. It says, "But thy kingdom shall not continue. But the Lord saw after a man after his own heart. The Lord commanded him to be captain over his people, and because thou hast not kept which the Lord commanded thee." So yeah, that kingdom, like, of Saul wasn't going to continue. What? That's the word spiritually was the kingdom of carnality, maliciousness, hate, evil eye. But the kingdom of David is going to continue, man. What's that inward, man? What? Like, mercy, long suffering, like, forgiveness, all the fruits of the spirit, truth, like, mercy, like, all the things that the Exodus 34:6, Numbers 14-18, Jeremiah 9:24, Galatians 5:20, all those things of the spirit, man, like, of the fruits of the spirit in the inward kingdom, in the inward man, that's going to be the kingdom that lasts forever, man. That's that's going to be the kingdom that's going to lead be of Yahushua's, and eventually leading back to the garden, things of that nature, man, and produce many fruits, man. That's what it's going to be like. Not the kingdom of Saul, man, because it's a carnal kingdom. It's just like, it's a kingdom, like, of rebellion, man, kingdom of selfishness, like, because why I say rebellion, because Saul rejected the word or command of the Lord, man. Like, just like that, just the same, like that 2 Samuel 3:1 is prophetic, man. Shout out to Kwame Call and brother Shalimah and Akawar and brother Elijah, man, because that 2 Samuel 3 is prophetic, man. This wasn't talking about during that time, man. Like, it was just talking about, like, even the house of Saul, the Pharisees, house of David, Yahushua, the gospel, the testimony, like, all the followers of him, man. So that's just is what it is. But anyway, it says, but First Samuel chapter 13 verse 14, it says, "But thy kingdom shall not continue. But the Lord saw after a man after his own heart, and the Lord had commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept the command which thou hast not kept which the Lord commanded thee." So yeah, so see, notice how he said the man after his own heart, man. So that's why, like, we had to be on one accord with, like, if we're gonna be the bride of the Most High House, shall be his wife, like, and we're gonna read this scripture another time, Lord willing, man, because I got just a lot of some I want to get into this as well, because it deals with the weightier matters. But that's neither. No, actually, no, I'm actually at the wrong scripture. But let's get 13 real quick. Ecclesiastes 13, man. It says, actually no, I'm actually, it was right. No, I'm tripping. Yeah, no, Ecclesiastes 7:26. Has thou have a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, and give her not thyself over to light woman. So yeah, exactly, having a wife, like, being the Most High House's wife, like, are we have a mind like his mind, as David did, like, be on one accord. Because, like, honestly, man, there's nothing more beautiful than having a wife that's on the same accord as you, man. Because I remember, I'll go into this, man, like, the brother Chronicles Judah did a video of years ago, man, about LeVar Ball and his little, like, it was like when he first came on scene, like 2017, like then tricking on 2018 on down, man. But it was a clip of him and his wife, like, at a basketball game, and this, like, during, like, there's a point, like, she stops and look at him, and she gets on one accord with him, like, the same gestures, the same posture as him, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. And I seen this as well, like, Yeah, y'all brothers and sisters, y'all brothers and sisters probably seen this as well, man. It's a beautiful thing when you see it out in public. It's like, wow, man, that wife is just on one accord with her husband, man. This is like, she just wants to be like, my stepmom's kind of like that, man, and it's good. It's such a beautiful thing, man, and that's what most of these like um sisters don't realize, man. That's just what it is, and that's why. But it's all a reflection of like us like the nation, our people being on one accord with the Most High House. It's a beautiful thing. That's why Sirach says that it's nothing. I was beautified together. No, let's look at that real quick. Let's go grab that because this is all going to being one. Like Sirach 25. It says. Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach 25, in verse 1, it says, "In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before Yahweh and men. The unity of brethren," that's Psalms 133 and 1. "The love of neighbors," love your neighbor as thyself. And the wife that agree together, yeah. So, that's like, what? Like, not just naturally, because, that's missing even with our people in the word and out the word, man. Because, man, that family dynamic is, destroyed. But anyway, but seriously, but spiritually, man, like when like Mosai and Hausha and we and his wife doing one accord with him, like having the same mind as him, man, that's just nothing more beautiful than that, man, because there's life there, man. But yeah, man, that's just is what it is. But it says, "But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has saw him a man after his own heart, and the Lord had commanded him to be captain over his people, and thou hast not kept which the Lord hath the which the Lord commanded thee." So yeah, let's get this in John 10. So David was the one with the Lord. So why you gotta think and I get it, man. Our people just because like the brother Semi Firstborn says, shout out to brother Semi Firstborn, you could not agree with something, or you gotta I had to understand one, because it's easier to say that when we're reading it, but because no matter what time period you're at, especially in our history, man, or history of the world, you just have to pray that the Most High Yahushua didn't give you that mind to be like that, or to even things that were wicked, in his eyesight, or people that were wicked, or being like them, or things that or like this, man, because yeah, man, because it's like the wilderness, man. That's like you gotta have some understanding with that, man. Not saying you agree with it, but I'm saying you have to understand with that. And you could honestly disagree, but because the scripture. My point is being the scriptures for our learning, but yeah. But it's not taboo but even to this day, man, it's not taboo if David was one with the Most High Yahushua, if he had was one with him, why would it be a problem with the son of David being one with him? But it says John chapter 10 verse 30, he says, and I and my Father are one. Then the Jews took stones up again to stone him. Exactly. So yeah, but this is the son of David. But he's saying he's one with with his father, man, one with the Most High. But David was. So and that's when they tried to stone him, man. And that's why too. Like a lot of times, we know we're gonna get to it. A lot of times people have the problem with I used to have this thing too. So I don't know. That's again. I'm just shoot. This is I'm not exempt from this as well. With the Most High being, Yahushua being the Most High, man, he was the Most High physically. It may manifest in the flesh, man. Not that they were the same entity, but no, man. It's just just we always make this say Kobe Bryant had a lot of times people say Michael. Well, I don't really agree with it, but I agree with the stance his mentality, his approach, or he just tried to mimic Jordan to the best ability. That's why people say he's the closest thing to Jordan. Why do they say that, man? Because his whole aura, how he carried himself, his game, it was really that's just is what it is. Same thing I'm not comparing that to Christ, but I'm saying that's what it is, man. That's he was like that, man. Just like when people say, "Oh, you remind me of your of your father," or you just like this person, you're just like your mother, or you just like your father, or just like your mother. You're just like them, man, in the flesh. That's why Sirach 30 says, listen, because it goes into a father that dies. Well, we know the Most High Yahushua. We know the Most High can't die, but it says he left on somebody like himself, man, like a father that dies and leave a son like himself. It's like your father was never dead. So that's just that's just is what it is. Just even like at the funeral, my grandpa's funeral, man. My brother went up and did his speech. He said, "Listen, I am like Leroy Hammond, like I am him, like pretty much saying he was him, like he carried on his will. He's the but living embodiment of him, man. So that's just neither here nor there. But yeah, let's get to John chapter 10 verse 30. It says, I and my Father are one." Like so because David in the Most High in House Shot one, David was one with the Most High. So how so the son of David is too. But notice how like and this too, man. This is how your House Shot comes in volume of the book, man. Like let's go 1 Samuel 18, man, because like let's get 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse let's get what is it? 1 Samuel 18. Where is it at? Okay, no. Yeah, 1 Samuel 18 verse yeah, yeah. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse because remember this too. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 10. Because remember this, the house of Saul is the Pharisees, right? And the house of David is Yahushua. Let's think about this. It says, and it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Yahweh came upon Saul and prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played in it with his hand and was and as other times there was javelin in Saul's hand and Saul cast a javelin, for he said, he will smite David even into a wall with it. And David avoided it out of his presence twice. So yeah, exactly, man. So like Saul tried to kill David, try to get a javelin and stick him through the wall. Like let's get John, but notice how it said David it said David was avoided out of his presence, man. Now let's look at the John 8 and 59, the son of David, man, doing this when he's about to get, he wasn't necessarily about to get with a javelin per se, but they was trying to stone him. But look what happened. John chapter 8 verse 59, because yeah, he's saying he was before. He says he was the Alpha and Omega. He's listen. Well, no, he's saying I existed before Abraham, man. Like Abraham rejoiced to see me, and like they thought he was blaspheming. It says John chapter 8 verse 58. It says, and Yahushua said, "Verily I say unto you, before Abraham I am, before Abraham was I am." It says, then he took up stones, and then they took up stones to cast him at. But Yahushua hid himself and went to the temple, and going through the midst of them also passed by. So yeah. Now, of course, these kind of in extension, these weren't the Pharisees per se, but it's that same spirit, that same persecution spirit. These were people that were pretty much under the Pharisees, pretty much the people because pretty much following after Pharisees, or pretty much the unbelievers per se, but of Yahushua. But notice how David got got out of the spirit, he disappeared. So did so did the son of David, man, when he was about to get persecuted or trying to get killed, attempt on his life, man. But ironically enough, too, this is where here's where the law kicks in about Saul's death, because doesn't it say especially if you bear false witness against somebody, oftentimes Saul did about David. He was more persecuted, but he would give evil reports about David, just like the Pharisees did about Yahushua, the son of David. They would give false reports. Just like in law it says, if you give a false witness on somebody, what you ought to be done to them will be done to you. Just like even with Saul's death, man. What he sought to do with David, have his after he tried to throw a javelin at him, and had his body on the wall. Actually, how he died from Philistine, his body was on the wall. So that's what that Sarai goes into when casting that stone of pie. It's going to fall on your own head, So, and that's then how shall I say that too? Offending these little ones, it's better for you to have a great millstone. No, it didn't say fall on your head, but in the sea, kind of saying a similar type of deal. Let me say that, but let's grab 1 Samuel chapter 31, because remember, he tried to do it to Saul. To do it to David, have his body on the wall after he threw a javelin, but that ended up happening to him. It says Yep. It's First Samuel 13:31, verse 10. It says, and they put his armor on the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Beth John. So yeah, notice how, like, let's go back to First Samuel 18. He wanted David's, like, then we're gonna get this Sirach and close out. First Samuel chapter 18, verse um uh uh 11. It says, and Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And when David avoided out of his presence twice. So yeah, let's grab and let's get to First Samuel 31, verse 10. It says, and they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. So yeah, let's see. Okay, I shouldn't check that. Yeah, so let's grab this again. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Cast this. Let's get this Sirach real quick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's get this. Yeah, let's actually no. Let's grab this Ecclesiastes 27:27. That's the better point. It says, he that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him. He shall not know when it cometh. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that mischief, like, fell upon him. Saul actually ended up on the wall, like, dying on his body on the wall, like, because that's why what he sought to do to David, it happened to him, like, so so yeah, man, that's just it is what it is, man. Similar to, like, similar to, like, what Judas, like, betrayed that Yahushua, what he thought, like, what he planned to happen to Yahushua ended up happening to him, man. But that's is what it is. But but that's all. But pretty much we kind of delve over it all into place with this. But this all goes into being one with the Most High Yahushua, man. That's the point, man. Because just as David was, like, one with the Most High Yahushua, so was the son of David, man. So that wasn't really taboo, honestly. It like really can't be taboo, like, or like, asinine, like, for or like, a reach for for when Yahushua said that, man. Because you still have people to this day that say that, but no, man. It's just like me and the Father are one, man. That's why I say when I say not just when we say the Most High Yahushua, man. Like, I say that, like, when I because they're on one accord, pretty much, man. So that's just is what it is, man. So yeah, man, that's is what it's nothing like one body, one faith, man. Just like just being one. There's nothing be better than being one man on everybody's same well, man, ironically enough, like Voltron, man, forming like Voltron. And ironically enough, and shout out to brother Mike Malice, man, because he pointed this out. Because even if you watch, like, we talked about this before, even if you look at the Voltron, the old classic cartoons from '80s, if you look at it on the head, it's a black lion, like, and the lion's the head, man. So you already know what that is, man. So that's like, spiritually, if you're looking at that, man, it could be like, look at it that, like, watch, like we always say, man, we always talk about this, watch and listen to things with spiritual eyes and ears, especially when I came to the Word. Like, even before I came to the Word, I was kind of looking at things at a meaning, but now it's like try to look at the spiritual meaning for everything, man. That's acknowledging the Most High Yahushua in all your ways, looking at them in every aspect of your life, man. So yeah, man. So something like that, even like Voltron, man. Like, the blood, the head, like it says in Corinthians, like the head of every man is Christ, man. Like, and the head of Voltron is the lion, black lion, the lion of Judah, obviously, man. So yeah, man. But this all going to be one, man. Like, so hopefully it's edifying. So peace.